Hey there, YouTube. This is Mr.Lubufu, and welcome to, this is kind of just like a fun video where I go over each and every subtle pairing between Khans of Tarkir, Dragons of Tarkir, and Fate Reforged. There are a lot of them, and it's actually hard to see a lot of them, so that's why I'm going to go over them. So let's begin with the ones between Fate Reforged and Khans of Tarkir. So first, and this is kind of the more obvious ones, that we have Atarka World Render, becomes Wooded Foothills, Dromoka the Eternal, Windswept Heath, Kolagon, the Storm's Fury, and Bloodstained Mire, Silumgar the Drifting Death and Polluted Delta, and Ojutai Soul of Winter becomes Flooded Strand. So the 5 2-color dragons became the appropriate 2-color fetch lands. In addition, Kolagon's The Storm Fury also becomes Dragon Throne of Tarkir. If you look carefully, that is, well, his skull right there. We also have Silumgar the Drifting Death, reappearing in the shadow of Dig Through Time. Hero's Blade is wielded by Zurgo Helm Smasher. The background of Mind Scour Dragon and High Spire Mantis is the same. You can see the red pillar is standing up in Fate Reforged and has fallen by the time of Khans of Tarkir. Sand-Stepped Mastodon becomes, Rotting Mastodon. And Jeskai Sage versus Jeskai Elder. Now this one you can sort of, complain about, and fine, I'll agree with you there. So that's it for the pairings just across Fate and Khans. Now let's talk about Fate and Dragons. So the other really obvious one is we have the 5 dragons becoming the 5 elder dragons. Not much else to say. It's really obvious which one's which. Next we have Tassiger the Golden Fang becomes Tassiger the Jewelry Pendant of Dragon Lord Silumgar. If you haven't noticed the art, he's wearing a pendant that is Tassiger. Next we have Honor's Reward and Scale Blessing. You see that now that Dromoka has eliminated the first tree following that, now the blessing is given by the dragon. Hunt the Weak, which has Atarka eating one of Ojutai's brood or clan, now becomes Artful Maneuver. They become more adept. Meringue River Prowler now became Meringue River Skeleton. The Hewed Stone Retainers are now the ancestral statue, so time has passed, but if you read the flavor text, you see that they are in fact the same. Yasova Dragonclaw. This is more of a parallel than anything else. And Sabretooth Outright are now the same. Same power toughness. Both have trample. So it's more of a parallel than an actual what they became. And then we have Defiant Ogre is now Marsh Hulk. You can read the flavor text and they both talk very clearly about purpose. So, stands out for there. And now we have Khans of Tarkir and Dragons of Tarkir parallels. So we have Sarkin and Sarkin, 2 different Sarkins. And then the clan leaders, so Anaphenzith, Narset, Sidisi, Surik, and Zurgo, each have their appropriate counterparts. Next we have Alabaster Kirin is now Misthoof Kirin, or rather, they are the only 2 Kirins in the entire block, so there's the parallel. Herald of Anafenza is now Herald of Dromoka, similar horn, so, and you really see the parallels there. Altar of the Brood is now Fate Forgotten. If you look at the art and the shrine, it's all the same, which is pretty cool. Wingmate Rock is now Territorial Rock. It no longer had the ability to be, big and flying, it's now tiny because of all the dragons. Feed the Clan, where you see in the art they're eating a big fish, is now actually ancient carp, because if you read the flavor text, especially of ancient carp, you see that why eat now what could one day grow into a feast? So, there you go. Meandering tower shell is now wandering tomb shell. That one was kind of obvious. Despise and duress have this fun little parallel. Dutiful return and dutiful assistant are, again, very, very similar. Summit Prowler and Summit Prowler, with the art being almost identical. Just throw some dragons in the background, we're good to go. Tormenting Voice and Tormenting Voice, again, the same sort of thing. And Naturalize and Naturalized, you see these sort of parallels with the same card printed across both sets. We have War Name Aspirant, so the one trying to get a war name, versus Kolagon Aspirant, so he just wants to kill people. Mardu War Shrieker is now War Bringer. You can see very similar things there. The one that most people know, Savage Punch versus Epic Confrontation. It's just Zurich punching all the things. Tusked Colossedon and Colossedon Yearling. So now the large beast has been hunted by the dragons, so now they're much smaller and have to build a shell to protect themselves. We have Pine Walker versus Conifer Strider. So it's had to adapt to the dragons. Lens of Clarity and Keeper of the Lens are, you see that now it's on a 1/2. It gives you a similar effect. Next we have the cycles that go across all 3 sets. So we have Witness of the Ages, Pilgrim of the Fires, and Custodian of the Trove. If there's anyone that got gypped out of this whole time travel thing, it's totally this golem. Like, he was a 6/4 first strike trample, but then he became a 4/4 morph. But now he's just a 2/5 defender that comes into play tapped. Poor guy. Next we have Tomb of the Spirit Dragon, Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, and Haven of the Spirit Dragon. It's the same location on Tarkir. And you actually, if you look really, really, really carefully on the cards Crux of Fate and Sarkin Unbroken, you actually see the same little squiggly mountain. So all 5 of those cards actually take place in this location in Tarkir. Then, of course, the classic is Heart Piercer Bow, Renowned Weaponsmith, and Vial of Dragonfire, which if you look really carefully at Renowned Weaponsmith, you see both the vial and the bow in the background. So yeah, that's basically all of the ones I could find. I think I got most of them. So that's pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all the really subtle parallels they showed off in this set. Thank you guys all for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Just kidding. I found one more. Cranial Archive and Dark Deal.